All right, what's going on, friends? Ooh, you can hear it, can't you? You can hear it. How's it going, everyone? I see some people in chat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Mr. Grant Gregory here early with a little hail, brother. How you doing? AnCap Gamer, what up, sir? How you doing? Great to see you. He wants you to finger up that like button, and I agree with him. I think you should finger it up, maybe take a little bit. Shiro Notion, what's going on, man? Long time. He says, hail chat and hail the king of the beard. I appreciate you, man. Been a long time for sure. Derp Nader says, good evening, everybody, with a smiley face. Thanks, man. I appreciate the smiles. And he says, oh, and hail to the chat and Shags. Abomination AJ's in the house. He says, what up, people? And I say, what up, motherfucker? Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure seeing your sexy ass here. Killbot says, salutations. Hello, Mr. Killbot. I'm sure he's gotten all of his gold skins unlocked now in Call of Duty. And hail to the man. No. How's it going, everyone? I am late. I am sorry. I thought it was going to be much later, so I almost canceled the show outright because my son is being kind of a pain recently and going to bed. Sometimes he just wants mommy, and that hurts the soul. But it was my turn with him, and I almost had to call it, but it finally kicked in. The tired finally kicked in, and he was like, all right, I'm going to bed. And he fell asleep. But he does this thing where he like holds onto my hand, and like his grip gets lighter and lighter. And then as I try and pull away, he tightens down again. And I'm like, ugh. So it's difficult, but those with kids will understand with time that it's a real pain in the tuchus. We are also, guys, we are live over on Rumble. It's a big link, but I will share it with you guys. If you guys feel like opening up two browser windows for me, of course, go over there and follow me on Rumble if you don't already. Hit the little Rumble button on there, little plus button, and make sure you join our locals community, guys. I've been doing a weekly vlog, kind of wrap up the weekend. I'll be doing that, releasing that tomorrow. That's open to everybody, and I'm going to start recording our after hours sessions, so you can catch the session live if you want, and it'll become premium content afterwards, so you guys can see some of our longer conversations. Last week was fucking awesome. Comics Division came on after we were done with our normal show, and we talked. God, I don't even remember what we talked about, but we went on for like an hour and a half. I was trying to keep it at like an hour or a half an hour, and then before we knew it, it was like 2 a.m. But that Rumble's right there, guys. Please, if you can, open up the other tab. Follow me over there if you don't already. And like I said, consider joining the locals community, which is also a link down below. And of course, if this is your very first time here, please hit the like button, share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what you've seen so far. This is basically what I do. I just sit here and just hang out and talk with people. We talk about daily news, and we're going to be getting to that very, very shortly. And Mr. Grant Gregory says, I always follow you, man. You know that. I do. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers, brother. Green-haired anti-liberal, how's it going? Hail. I'm going to try and get through this the best I can. As you can hear my voice, I'm like coming down from being pretty sick. This morning, I had to like really pull myself to get to work. I did it because that's my job, is to be at work. But we have some stuff to talk about, and I wanted to make sure that we were able to do that. So let's pull up. Well, the very first thing is, I haven't even watched this clip yet, but with everything in the news, well, with everything going around the fellowship sphere with Adam Krigler and Tim Pool, Adam finally spilled the beans on his departure from Timcast IRL. Kanye went on to Tim Pool's show, I believe this evening, and rage quit, it looks like. So there's a clip here that I would like to play and then comment on. This wasn't on the agenda, but I figure, hey, while we're here, while it's all sort of in everyone's mind, let's take a look at what Tim did, because Tim, I like Tim to an extent. I think he's a really hardworking dude. A lot of what Adam had to say about him, like I can see. And again, I think he just became a victim of his own success. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what happened.
I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them, though, isn't it? I mean, because
no.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018,
what do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then think we're not going to have a conversation.
Like have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it.
I don't know, man. Yeah, Tim's ego got in the way. Shocking. This, I don't know. This clip doesn't really say much. So it sounds like Tim was ready to explain why what he was saying was anti-Semitic, and Ye didn't want to hear it. I don't know. I don't know if this is much. I think it's kind of weird to put your guest on the spot like that, but I mean, all things. It's like, what is it? Kanye West rage quits Tim Pool's show after Tim Pool pushes back on Ye's anti-Semitism. Yeah, I don't know. Let's one more time. Let's take a look.
I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them, though, isn't it? I mean, because
no.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018,
what do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like,
so it sounds like Nick wants to defend what Ye's saying, and then Tim either wants more clarification or whatever. So it seems like Ye did actually rage quit the debate. Was saying more than he wanted to, ride the fence and not get yeeted. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, well, I don't necessarily fully blame like Tim here. Like, maybe he's trying to get better at pushing on his guests a little bit, but like, I don't know. Like, it would have been nice to. Well, I don't know. Maybe if Ye didn't just upright and leave, maybe Tim could have been like, well, like let me hear what Nick has to say, and then you can clarify or whatever. I think that would have been more fair, but I think part of it is like he doesn't want to be wrong. Like Tim doesn't want to be wrong in this situation. He doesn't ever want to be wrong or even told that he's wrong. So it's one of those things where. But that's a very, very small portion of the interview. I don't really know what Kanye said prior to that. That's not part of the clip, which I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish that people would actually excuse me, put the full context in there. So I don't know. Greenhead Anti-Liberal says, yeah, Ye did rage quit for sure. Don't blame anyone fully, but Tim needs to let peeps talk more. Even Luke tried to help. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't get to see that full interview, but I thought it was going to be more of like Tim, like pushing on Kanye a little bit more, like either making fun of him or calling him wrong outright. But it seemed like he was trying to be fair there. Is what it is. Oh, did he put up a little more context? And that's what we're missing here. Of course, it's on the right-wing Cope thread that I found it. But here, let me go back with my my bookmarks here to. But Lofty's comment on it was, I've watched this 3 times now. Ye left because Tim said it's not, referring to them not being the Jews. Tim doesn't think Jews, i.e. only the Jews, are controlling the narrative. Yet Ye does, but he is apparently not interested in having that discussion. It's that simple. Yeah, I agree with Lofty's take here, for sure. So the other thing that's, a big thing that's in the news right now, things that I'm worried about, being that there is, this was a clip. I'm going to play you guys a clip from White House press secretary. It's something that's been in the news for a while. We talk about freedom of speech a lot. What is it? We've talked about in the past also that these platforms are they platforms? Are they publishers? How does Twitter, how does Facebook like identify in the grand scheme of, oh, that's gross. Oh, okay. Well, I have some work to do here. How does Twitter and all of these social media platforms identify in the grand scheme of things? Because so they, I guess if you wanted to make the argument, are private companies and could make rules based on whatever they see fit, right? So like we all make rules in our house. People come into our house and do a particular thing. We say that's not allowed, that's allowed, whatever. Similar rules apply to these corporations. But where I say we draw the line, and where you have to draw the line, is where you have government officials asking or highly suggesting to these companies that they need to keep an eye on certain language. They need to watch misinformation. This is the real issue that we're seeing here, is that government officials are acting through these companies in order to control your language and information. That is a violation of your free speech. Government is not to infringe on your ability to speak freely. If these companies really are platforms for you to talk about things that you like, that you don't like, etc., they are not allowed to. They should not be. Congress should not be talking. The president should not be talking about the need to get rid of misinformation. Now, if a company wants to act on its own to eliminate certain things because they feel they don't want that discussed, I think that's their prerogative. Now, the issue also lies in the fact that these companies are humongous. They're huge. Facebook, Twitter, even the alt platforms have thousands, millions of users on them, and they're literally the flow of information. That's how people get information. I don't care who you are. You're going on Facebook and you're finding headlines. You're going on Twitter, you're finding headlines. I mean, that's how I found a lot of my stuff. I find stuff on Twitter. Now, I'll go down a rabbit hole of different sources once I find it. But if certain things aren't, like if you can't find them on a certain platform, then that's a problem. If Google is deranking things based on what they consider good information, this is a problem. They are more than companies. They have a large DPP that than some. Yeah, and again, like you take what I say and like remember, like I'm walking a line here. I'm trying to say like they are responsible. Kids, again, I think these are platforms, and I think they've said many times that we're platforms for people to talk. We'll allow people to talk. Government officials should be called out on the fact that they're asking these companies to watch out for misinformation. I'm going to play this clip for you so you guys can see. Again, they're just out in the open saying this stuff in public.
A critical moment, really, in terms of ensuring that Twitter does not become a vector for misinformation. She's worried that Twitter is going to become a vector for misinformation. I mean, are you concerned about Elon Musk says there's more and more subscribers coming online. Are you concerned about that? And what tools do you have? Who is it at the White House that is really keeping track of this? If this is a personal opinion that she's asking of the press secretary, fine. You can't sit there like it's a very roundabout way of saying, and I think they just came out and say like, what are you planning to do about the increased misinformation? Like, and again, is there any data to suggest that misinformation is going up, and by how much? Any more than there was before now that Elon Musk has taken over? Like, I'm happy. I would love to see if that's a thing, but it might be more easily like shared because he's not deranking things. But I know even he has said there's certain things he's not going to allow.
So look, this is something that we're certainly keeping an eye on. And look, we have always been very clear, and that when it comes to social media platforms, it is their responsibility. to make sure that when it comes to misinformation, when it comes to the hate that we're seeing.
Now, she's smart to say it's on them to make sure there's no misinformation, right? So she's smart to say that.
That they take action, that they continue to take action. Again, we're all keeping a close eye on this. We're all monitoring what's currently occurring, and we see it with our own eyes of what.
It's not your job. It's not your job to keep an eye on it. The only reason that anyone should be keeping an eye on what's being said on the internet is if it's truly violating someone's safety. If someone is if there's a direct threat on someone's life, it needs to be taken seriously. Absolutely. No doubts about that. That's always been the case. But just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's misinformation. People should be able to talk and exchange information on whatever they want. If they want to look stupid and share something that's just totally unsubstantiated, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't affect you. But they're going with the whole thing, especially around the COOF, that if you don't do a particular thing, you are in somehow endangering others. We know that most people just survive this, right? A very, very, very high percentage of adults survive this, kids, etc.
What you all are reporting, and just for ourselves, what's happening on Twitter. But again, social media companies have a responsibility to prevent their platforms from being used by any user to incite violence, especially violence directed at individual communities, as we have been seeing, and the president has been very clear on calling that out. He'll continue to do that, and we're going to continue to monitor the situation.
Right, and again, so she's not wrong by saying that, right? Well, let's go back real quick.
As we have been seeing, and the president actually violence directed at from being used by any user to incite violence, especially violence directed at individual communities.
That's right. You're not to use it to incite violence against others or other communities. No one's disputing that. The problem here is that the way they talk about this stuff is that, again, words are violence, right? So if someone says something that's unsavory to another, that becomes something that they can go after them for. And they use it for the slightest thing. And this is why you can't give up those individual rights on that particular thing. We need to be really, really conscious of how we're framing violence. It's not with words, friends. It's not with words. Shiro No Show says, also, large companies don't want any trouble and have very low resolution criteria for what's misinformation and what's permissible content. Yeah, and I think held to their own devices, I think a lot of these companies would do just fine in monitoring their content. The problem is when you have the White House saying, we're keeping an eye on these companies. No, that's not your job. Your job is not to keep an eye on these companies. Your job is not to act through the technocrats in order to create policy for why you can or cannot say a particular thing. And it goes back to, these, like in Canada, where you can be arrested or fined for misgendering someone. It's not a good thing. This is the slippery slope that we warn everyone about. And on top of that, let's share another quick tweet with you guys that kind of came out of all this and what we're seeing here. There's a couple, but let me bring this up real fast. Elon Musk, said the Twitter files on free speech suppression soon to be published on Twitter itself. The public deserves to know what really happened. Huge, man. This is really big if this is what he's doing. He's basically going to tell everyone what happened, with everyone being able to say what they wanted to say and why it was a problem. This is going to be public knowledge. And of course, my DMs are open. This is huge, guys. This is huge. But another thing that's also been happening, and Glenn Greenwald has reported on this. This is exactly how Parler was destroyed for its refusal to obey in the censorship orders of DC Democrats. Apple and Google removed the app from their stores, crippling crippling Parler. Threats of doing the same to Twitter have clearly been raised. It's an insane abuse of monopoly power. So Elon came out and said Apple has threatened to withhold Twitter from its app store, but won't tell us why. Again, this is a way of trying to get Twitter or Elon Musk to do something that they need him to do. So he wrote an article, or he wrote a Substack recently about what happened with Parler. I'm not going to go through it, but it began with AOC using the liberal pro-censorship group publicly demanding Apple and Google remove Parler from its stores for failure to censor. It worked. Liberals abused monopoly power. And this is coming from Glenn Greenwald, who's a former liberal. He totally bailed on them because of all their shenanigans over the past couple of years. But Glenn's a classic liberal. He's not a progressive. Elon had better release it all. Want those comms posted for them all. Open the floodgates for sure. It needs to be. Yeah, when the CEO becomes the whistleblower, it's huge, man. This is how he's a classic liberal. He's a classic liberal, which now would be considered a conservative. That's how far we've come. But this is really big. If they're going to threaten, or if they do pull Twitter from their stores, it could spell a huge problem for because I think when that happens, the app will stay the same. I don't think I don't know, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. If they remove the app from their phones, it's no longer supported on those platforms. So you'd either have to get it from somewhere else. But I mean, the two main hubs are Google, the Google Play Store, and the Apple Store. So yeah, someone still got this sick. I sure do. This is going to be a really good story to watch over the next couple of weeks, because I don't see there's too much transparency with Elon right now, and especially if he delivers on the Twitter files regarding the free speech suppression over the last couple of years. I think it's a huge bombshell, and I'm sure it exposes people. I think he's done with the bullshit. And I think he set an example of how you could actually run a successful business. People want transparency. You don't have to hide behind, millions and millions of dollars in shareholders. He just doesn't care. This is what's going on. This is what we need to do. We're on the up and up. It wasn't on the up and up before. Now it is. So, I mean, props to Elon Musk for actually doing that. But as far as misinformation goes, it is not up to the government to decide what is misinformation, what is not. What you see is that they will decide that something is misinformation because it doesn't fit well with them. But at the end of the day, if they don't like something that's come out, they label it as misinformation, but then comes true. We see repeats of the last couple of years. People were censored. They were told that they were wrong. They told they were conspiracy theorists. And then a couple of years down the road, everything comes out as is true. It doesn't hurt anyone that someone's talking about that this may be the case, or this may be the case, or this may be the case. Allow people to have, it doesn't hurt anyone if we have that conversation in public. These are now public town squares. Do I wish that people will go outside more often and talk in real life and not necessarily on Twitter? Sure. But this is where people are talking. And I see Section 230 is what I was trying to think of before. Section 230 is again where this all pops up. Who's responsible for this? Are they publishers? Are they considered, are they allowed to editorialize? If so, then they become publishers. If they're platforms, we have to allow people to speak their mind on certain issues. And, again, short of threats of violence that directly harm someone, it's nothing we can do. Turp Baders, I saw that story about Alyssa trading in her Tesla for a VW. That was pretty funny. And Elon actually sticking it to her was probably the best thing ever. I love the things that he's doing right now. It makes me just laugh. And the fact that people don't realize his game, they don't realize like he's the master troll right now, and it actually has been for as long as he's been on Twitter, is even funnier. They just, again, it comes down to like the left can't meme. I'm not saying they have to enjoy the things he's doing because, you know, they all look stupid, but anyways, sorry. What else was on here? Oh, here's an interesting. So, you gotta love this stuff. Yeah, sorry, my voice is all raspy, guys. I didn't want to miss another night. Yeah, the Hodge twins owned her. That was good. Excuse me. So the United Nations. And so this kind of all like blends together. This whole like few news stories. The United Nations tweeted out, words can be weapons. Hate speech online can lead to cruelty and violence in real life. Get tips for how you can say #no to hate. Words can be weapons. And of course, it's a grenade made out of keyboard keys. Really clever. Again, like for the smooth brains who don't understand like how this all works, if someone makes a direct threat of violence, whether it's online or in real life, those words can be used to harm someone. A direct threat of violence against someone else can be prosecuted. You can go after someone for that, especially if it's an actionable threat. But just saying, hey, you're a douchebag, I'm going to punch you in the head, that doesn't do anything. People need to grow a spine. Grow a fucking spine. Are you kidding me? I just don't understand why we're... So here's the here's the page that how to deal with hate speech from the United Nations. Hate speech occurs in all societies, whether online or offline. Hey, thanks for acknowledging that. At least it can sometimes be to assess when it can be hard to assess when a comment is meant as hate speech, especially when expressed in the virtual world. It can also feel overwhelming to deal with the obviously hateful content. This is not that hard. However, there are many ways you can take a stand, even if you are not personally the victim of hate speech, and you can make a difference. The following tips may be helpful. Okay, let's look at these. Pause. Refrain from making any hateful comments yourself and or relaying such content, whether online or offline. You should all act responsibly to stop the spread of hate and misinformation. Check out the United Nations Pledge to Pause campaign to find out why it's important to take a moment to pause before you share content online. Learn how to do this responsibly. Whether you are forwarding a message, retweeting a story, or watching a video in your feed, you too can fight the crime. Fact check. In the digital world, it's common to come across misinformation and harmful content, but it's relatively easy to verify content you find is reliable. To detect false and biased information, including hate speech propaganda, be sure to check the content's origin with the help of search engines, fact-checking tools, and other reliable sources. You can also download images and run them through image search tools to find out where they appeared first. React. Whenever possible, do not remain silent, even when it's others who are targeted. Speak up calmly but firmly against hate speech and call it out to make clear that you do not agree with the content of that statement. When relevant, refute misinformation with facts, providing reliable sources to back up your argument. Challenge. One way to tackle hate speech is to spread your own counter speech to make sure hate is not the dominant narrative. You can undermine hateful content with positive messages that spread tolerance, equality, and truth in defense of those being targeted by hate. In support, take a public stand for and extending solidarity to people who are the targets of hate speech demonstrates that rejecting hate is the responsibility of every individual. That's about as much as I can do. Yeah, basically be a snitch. This is funny because what's funny is that this is just what you're taught as a kid, right? Like Like, first of all, ignore the trolls, you fucking idiots. Like, why do you give any credence to people? Like, if people are genuinely giving you hate speech, ignore them. Why do people care what retards on the internet say? Why do you care what I have to say? If you don't like what I have to say, unsubscribe and get the fuck out of here. There's no other reason to be here unless you value what I have to say. If you don't value what someone says on your Twitter feed, move along. They're not bothering you. Fact check? I don't have to fact check everything I come across. Like, there's probably very few things I need to fact check, especially on Twitter. Like, what I have to do is, like, if something really, really interests me, sure, I guess I could go down a road of fact checking, but all this stuff is what you learn, like, when you're a kid. Like, trust but verify. React. Well, don't be a fucking asshole yourself. Don't just be, throwing the hate right back at them. Okay, cool. Like, you're not, like, does anyone realize, like, this is the game they play? Like, they try and sound, like, this is from the United Nations. They try and sound like they have it all figured out and they got it all together. Like, there's nothing, they're not saying anything amazing here. They're saying what we've all been taught. Like, and you guys really, like, at the end of the day, you, like, don't just take it from me. I'm sure your parents have told you this. Take some time to always verify the things that you believe in, right? If you believe that a certain thing is true, like, why wouldn't you research it? If you see someone that you trust say something, try and verify that. I think a lot of people here do that. If you're not, you really should start doing that. But again, and, like, don't be hateful to someone else, sure, but I'm also not going to let some asshole on the internet, like, really get under my skin, short of someone I know. Like, if Horror Murata, like, plaster a whole tweet on me about how much of an asshole I am, I would be hurt, right? A little bit, because I respect her and she's awesome and we have a show together. But, like, some no-name comes on my mentions and, like, calls me a name. Okay, have fun, dude. Have fun screaming into the void. Mute. Easy. Done. They do everything here except tell you how to mute someone on Twitter or mute someone on your Facebook feed. Silvar says, the UN has no legitimate authority, chosen by no God, mandated by no masses, ruling no geological area, nor any people. No, I agree, man. I agree with you. Greenhair Anti-Liberal says, I'm so glad I grew up in the 90s. Give me a break. How to deal with hate speech is a walk away and get over it. This isn't difficult. I agree. And again, I think this is a huge, I think this puts a, something like this is really easy to sway people, because in the era of online content and information, where, like, kids always found information, this is like, this is how I do it. But before all this, before we had the ability to go online to find everything, we had to search for this stuff in libraries. We had to, like, look into books. Finding information took time. Building a bibliography. I don't think anyone knows what a bibliography is anymore. Like, it was annoying. I hated doing it. As a teenager, I hated it. As an adult, I love going through information now. Love it. The world needs a spine. I agree, man. 100% the world needs a spine. We've strayed a long way from the path, and it's too bad, because people have a lot of potential. Like, the person has a huge potential, and when many persons execute their potential to the highest degree, you have a successful society. More people need to read, and I'm sure I'll get laughed at by some, need to read more Thomas Sowell, and they need to read more Milton Friedman. Like, those two guys, way ahead of their time. Way ahead of their time. And even before then, we searched the woods. That's right, Andy. Absolutely. Real hate speech would be all insert. Yeah, it should be. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oof. Yeah, the fact that Elon Musk is going to publish details of Twitter's history of free speech suppression soon, that is huge. As Nick Weiser would say, huge. Love that guy, by the way. Nick, I love you. Come back on the midweek hump. Oh, dude, I pulled everyone in 1,000 different directions. The fact that y'all are here tonight is amazing. Thank you for the 5 over on Rumble watching. Make sure you hit the plus button. If you have me open on a tab on Rumble, hit the plus button for me if you can. You can always leave a comment. That actually helps with the algorithm over there. Or you can be in chat and Rumble rants. Thank you so much. Grant Gregory says, cheers to you. Thank you, brother. Cheers. And those over on here on YouTube, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys smash that like button, dude, for real. Oh, don't smash it. That's what Tim says. Just tickle it a little bit, little tickle, like you would on the little man in the boat. Little tickle for him. And if this is your first time, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you. And of course, our locals is down in the description here. Make sure you join the locals. Thanks, Derp Mater. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm loving Rumble. It's been great. I'll be doing all my gaming over there, so I'm pretty excited for that. Ooh, let's see. What's this? Oh, Carrie Lake. Oh boy. Let's take a look at this, cause smash that plussy for Rumble is what you mean. Yeah, smash the plussy. Smash the plussy for Rumble. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. Let's share this tab instead. Let's see. So this says, stop what you're doing and watch this. This is the best explanation for Maricopa County Election Day disaster you will ever watch. Oof. I don't know if we should talk about this on YouTube. Maybe not. I'll have to save that for Wednesday after show. I didn't realize it was that. So Mama Susan don't like us talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So let me real quickly. Hey, so Nick Fuentes, Nico, Kanye walk into a bar. Oh, and Milo walk into a bar. And the bartender says, "What the fuck? What a group of ragtag motherfuckers, huh? All going to Mar-a-Lago? Jesus Christ." What is happening? Is this the all right, my friend, I'm taking a look at some links that some friends sent me, and god damn, is there a lot. Let's share this instead. I have not watched this yet, but this looks, this is in Canada, in Alberta. Now, Alberta is like half completely conservative. We'll definitely talk about it on Wednesday after show. I don't want to risk, because we're almost to all of our watch hours, and we're halfway to monetization subscriber wise. So, but if we have a strike, that shit comes to a screeching halt. So let me add this to the stream.
Yeah, what could you do on a case-by-case basis if somebody said to you, yeah, I'm being discriminated against by my employer because I'm not vaccinated?
Well, I'm calling people who when I hear these instances. There was an instance where, for instance, the Arctic Winter Games wanted $1.2 million from us to support their effort, and they were discriminating against the athletes, telling them they had to be vaccinated. So we asked them if they would reconsider their vaccination policy in the light of new evidence, and they did. And I was pleased to see that. There is a film set that I have heard is discriminating against his hairdressers. And so I've asked my minister to give them a phone call.
So Clifton Duncan has talked about this a lot, that Hollywood was huge at this. He's being denied because he's an actor, Broadway, classically trained actor, is Broadway actor. And I think he's done a few feature films as well. He's great. He's another one I want to get on the midweek hump. He's such a cool dude. But he's talking about how Hollywood has really discriminated against those who are unvaccinated as well.
Those are the kind of things that we'll do. We just want to remind people that in this province, we do not discriminate against people for any reason. And that now that we know a lot more about this virus, that we would like them to address their policies and bring them up to speed with what the environment is here that we are trying to create.
Good.
Which is a welcoming environment that will accept people from all backgrounds in all occupations. And we don't want to have any discrimination for any cause. So I'm quite prepared to make those phone calls and have my ministers make those phone calls if there's other examples.
Good, because most of this seems to be like, if as long as these different places get pushback, they fold like origami. They don't like they're trying to exert their authority, but as soon as someone really pushes back against them, they're just like, oh yeah, okay, like we can't really do anything. Like, especially at this point. Clifton is awesome, and they did him dirty, freaking Hollywood and Broadway. So yeah, no, it sucks, man. He's done really good. His podcast is great. I haven't seen him put out an episode in a while though. I really like his podcast. But he's a guy that I would love to talk to, because he's so based, man. Like he just gets it. I would stop all that I'm doing to watch Midweek Hump with him on it. Well, cross your fingers. We had Carrie Smith this week, so maybe we, with another episode of her under our belt, maybe we can get some influence to get him on. I think he's taking a Twitter sabbatical as well. So it becomes hard to lock down some of these individuals. But no, it's really important, guys. Like, with stuff like this, most of the time, it's good to see that they are sticking up for these people and be like, hey, we're being discriminated against based on, V status. Like, what can you do for us? And she's like, just tell me where, and I'll make a call. This is what it's going to take to turn around. People standing up to these companies who are saying, oh, I don't know about that. No, that's not how it's done. You got to stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of them and just push back where you can. It's hard. I know it's hard. Like it's I don't like to say, you can just do it. I know it's hard. Oh man. So I gotta stay off Twitter while I'm broadcasting. I get distracted too easily. I'm like a dog. Squirrel. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about here, but some of it we have to save for Wednesday for our after show. I am on Rumble though. I guess we could just go for a little Rumble ride and talk over there for a little bit. Matter of fact, I kind of want to watch that Carrie Lake stuff. Guys, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't we'll do it in a couple minutes. So let's hit the hour mark here, and then we'll cruise over to Rumble for like a half an hour and talk a little bit more candidly about what's been going on. Jericho Green would be a great guest for Midweek Hump. I don't know Jericho. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know who he is now. I feel like an idiot. I definitely knew. I just didn't know his name, but I know who he is. I know who he is. There's so many people. Like, let me tell you, what's really great. What's really great about doing stuff on YouTube and mixing in with so many different people is that the options for people to come on the show and keep coming back, it becomes like limitless. We have people all the time saying, hey, can we come back? Like, when can we come? I love it, but it's hard because then it's like, okay, well, who do I bring? I want to bring more people and new people, but it's important for me to I do want to keep, I always want to reach out to the bigger creators and bring them on where I can, network out and bring in new people. But I really, what I love about this community is especially the people who I've been doing stuff with for over a year now, a lot of us smaller creators. Getting them involved more really means more to me because of they're great people and they're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to create a positive culture for others. And even if they're just gamers who are just trying to provide good gaming content, they're good people. So that's my goal, is to eventually get more of the people that I've been gaming with over the past year and a half, bring them on, and continue networking like across all these communities, because they are just awesome people. It was great to meet them out in Florida. So yeah, we had a good lineup of people. I know I booked someone else for the week after Carrie. Of course I can't remember because I suck at my job. Suck at my job sometimes, guys. All right. That's just how it goes. Back to the home screen here. But I'll tell you that what's going to happen, what the world needs is more people like Elon Musk. And the problem is there are not enough people like that. There's not enough people willing to risk it all for the greater good. Now, if you think that there's not some monetary gain for him in all of this, then you're flat out wrong. I understand that, like, he's trying to triple his money in this whole thing. But you can tell the guy cares about, like, this world. He wouldn't be dumping billions of dollars into a social media platform and getting, reigniting a space race essentially, and trying to create, green automobiles, right? Like, try and do his part. He's done it multiple times over now. But like and it makes me wonder, like, is he a once in a lifetime kind of person? I think he might be. We might not see a guy like him for another 50 years at least. Elon is lucky his love for China can't be used against him because of all his enemies also love China. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Only just the thing. There's just too little love. What's up, Star Sand? How we doing? Wait, was it you? You're the one. Hold on, where's my, here it is. Star Sand's coming. That's right. Where's my calendar? Did I not do that right? So we got Carrie Smith this week. No, yeah, Carrie Smith is this week. And then you're the week after, right? You're the one. We're gonna get you on the midweek hump again. Right? December 7th. I mean, she is the one, but December 7th. Can you come on? I want to see. Now I'm nervous because I know we have. This is. Okay. I know we have other ones. Now I'm freaking out that I messed up. Okay. Okay, let me update that one, and then we'll put you in here. I don't think we have anyone for this day, so I'm going to put you in. If for some reason I messed up, then I will. I'll let you know. I don't think I messed anything up. Going in all in on January 23rd? No. Did Horror do the scheduling? Would she or sheep now? I know that we have someone. I think. Oh wait, what? Oh my god. Okay, so I think it's the 14th. They would know. No, I think you're good. I think you're in for the 7th because this week is Carrie. Right, tomorrow or Wednesday's the 30th. Okay, getting it all updated. Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple other people I need to reach out to. Your episodes have been so much fun. We usually go way too late, but that's okay. Love being out late. Except for today. Today sucks. My voice is killing me. Just doing my Choco Hooligan impression to feel more at home here. Might play some retro games on my Pi before going to bed. Wait, what? What's a Pi? That's a good thing. I love talking. I've said 100 times, if I could have Joe Rogan's job, I would take it. I would just talk to people all day long. I could do it. I could talk to you guys all day. I could talk by myself all day long. Like, that's just what I do. Yes, I know. Oh my God, 36 new messages? Raspberry Pi is an emulator device. Oh, okay. Okay. I know. So this is basically, so guys, the overall gist of the Daily Shag is to sort of is to do stuff like this, to go over some news stories, work through them on my own, and kind of come up with my own take on things. I love doing shows with people. You know, Midweek Hump is an absolute pleasure to do with my co-hosts. They're fucking awesome, rad. But taking the time to do a lot of this stuff on my own, it helps my brain expand things. So these are the kind of things that we'll do daily. So tomorrow we'll have another one. We'll have more news stories and things that are in the news tomorrow, or might be, you know, still in the news that are dealing with other things. But that's the goal. That's the goal for sure. For sure. My Greece friends get angry at me, even though that's just more physics. I think there's a physics joke there, and I don't get it. I suck. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm sorry. Oh my God, there's so many things here. Why did you do this to me? I love my friends who send me news stories, but sometimes I'm like, holy shit. A lot of this stuff I'll have to like save for Wednesday because you just can't talk about this. Ooh, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. I bet we could watch this. It's from the Fresh and Fit podcast, and Ice-T tweeted out. Let's do this real quick. Look, Sneako's here. Yeah, I do know it's a Greek thing. I wasn't sure if it had to do with her. Let me move this over here. Let's take a look at this real quick. I got to see what this is all about. Share this instead. So the caption on this was, this is disturbing but real. We all know social media is an extremely addictive drug. Shake my head. Wow. That's from Ice-T. Let's add this in and let's take a look.
Instagram or a long-term boyfriend? Pick one. Okay, let's see.
Instagram.
Okay.
What? Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. Instagram. Okay.
Oh, Judean's getting red pill right now.
Okay. What about you?
Probably Instagram.
You must Detroit.
I probably already knew, but Instagram.
What the
fuck?
I would say Instagram. I haven't met or found a man yet that can give me what Instagram has given me.
Whoa! Yeah, this is why this show is necessary. Do you see how all these girls are in a relationship with Instagram instead of a real man? They're addicted to attention instead of love.
Yeah. Sneeko, with the fucking knowledge right there, dude. I agree with everything that Sneeko says, but like, you're addicted to the attention. Like, bro, what? Like, every single girl around that table just went and said, I'd rather Instagram than a long-term man, long-term boyfriend, partner, whatever. Now, take it with a grain of salt, maybe, okay? Maybe they're all saying that for attention. But even, who was it, 1, 2, 3, there's probably 7 women at that table. They all said it. Let's say half of them are lying. Let's say 3 of them are lying. That's still 4 girls who would prefer the attention of a social media website than to have actual connection with a human. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. These people have never had a real connection in their life. And this is the problem. This is the problem that, like, you can't. This is really hard to fix at this point, right? Because they've never had a positive male role model in their life. None of these women have ever had a positive male role model in their life. And now you're asking them to choose between an app that gives them infinite amounts of attention and then with a male partner who the only thing they know about it is a negative side of it. So of course they're going to take the attention of all these people. And I'm sure half of these women have an OnlyFans that's successful. It's bizarre. Narcissism, exactly. Leon had a follower send him a video claiming it was a good rap song. Oh no, did he put it up on the screen? He started it about 30 seconds in, people full-blown naked and flapping showing up on screen as if that couldn't get him banned. Oh, dude. He actually dropped in to my stream the other day and was like, I just got Twitch to shut my stream off. I wouldn't understand if they worked for Instagram selling wares and such. No, but even that, dude. Like, even that. This is sad. It's sad. And this is why. I bet if you polled most of those women, they did not have a positive male role model in their life. Dad was absent or was a drunk asshole or just out of their life. Or the mom wouldn't let the dad be in their life. I would say there's a very good likelihood. I'm sorry, I would choose my husband over Insta any day. Yeah, well, you know, and even people who don't have positive male role models in their life need to be told, like, or need to understand, like, what good can come of it, right? Is it right to bring a child into this world today? I say absolutely, because you have a chance to turn this around. You don't have to create people who prefer social media over real connection, real life connection. The one thing about narcissists that I've noticed is that they want to talk about them and they want you to talk about them. Yeah, that's very true. I'll be honest, no one in my family ever talks about Instagram. That's a good thing. Andy, that's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. So cheers. Like, and, you know, this doesn't even come as a surprise to someone like Sneeko anymore. Any of these guys on like Fresh and Fit. They know that all these women, they don't care about men. They care about themselves. They care about how other people can line their pockets, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to think about. But like when someone says, hey, you could have a long-term relationship with a man, or you could keep having your Instagram fame. And they go, I'll go with Instagram. Like, really? Does that bring you joy? Because guess what? One day, you're not going to look so good in that top anymore. Your ass is not going to look so great anymore. And then you're going to be lonely as fuck. And you're going to wish that you took that man. Because that man, that long-term man, is not going to care how saggy your ass gets, how many stretch marks you get, how many grays you get. They don't give a shit because they love you from in here. They love from in here. They don't love in here or necessarily with their dick. And that's all these women are trying to do, is they're trying to get a hold of the wealthiest, handsomest man they can and drain them for everything they have, to set themselves up for just another 10 years and hope that they can stay hotter than the next floozy. Sneeko and that group are clowns, but good discussions can sometimes happen. Yeah, that might be the case. Well, like you said, like they often say things that, you know, make sense. You know, you got to take what they say with a grain of salt. Like they're pushing the edges of everything, right? Like the reason that podcast exists is because they say the most insane shit in hopes to like get through to someone. Like if you use your brain a little bit, you realize like, okay, take what they say and sort of back it off a little bit, because they're doing a full cast, right? They're out there hunting sharks. Most of us are just trying to get a bass. You know, like that's kind of how I think of it. These guys are deep sea fishing every single day. Most people, they're just going in the river. You need to learn to back it off a little bit. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Right. You just got to use your head. But that's the thing. People don't have that critical thinking skill anymore. It's lost on most people. You know, and that's why, like, I do like watching these guys sometimes, because they expose these women for the frauds that they really are. They catch them up in these things. They you know, they'll say things like, "Oh, I want a classical man. Like, I want a man that's, you know, going to provide." They're like, "Well, you don't want to be a classical woman, though. You want to be out here running around showing your hoo-ha to everyone. You want people pressing that plussy all day, you know?" So it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody that, like, these women will die alone and sad, and probably much sooner than they should. You know, all these women deserve a man that'll take care of them, but they need to also provide for him. What value are you bringing to the relationship? And honestly, I think what Fresh and Fit is like all about, is exposing people for the frauds that they are. Saying, I am this, but no, you're not. You're not even close to that. Again, they're clowns for sure. Like, you know, I probably wouldn't be friends with any of these guys, but, you know, what they're saying isn't exactly false. I've grown to hate OC. There's not enough intervention in the world that can fix that. They're red pill poisoned and have tried to deplatforming people. They also bring on the extreme people from Miami for content like that, but it's a good glimpse into certain worlds. Sure, you know, and that's the thing. Again, you gotta take it for what it is. And most people, like, you shouldn't. And this is why I said earlier, no one should be following me blindly. Don't follow me because someone said you should. Follow me because you give a shit about what I'm saying. Right? Follow me because you care about my words. I'm approaching things from the point of view of a dad, right? I approach things like, what kind of world do I want to bring my kid up in? What values am I going to instill on them? Not this, right? Figure out your own way. And if what I'm saying makes a huge difference to you, I want your attention, right? I want to make content for you so you understand that there's someone else out there who gets it. Someone else who's there walking beside you. Well, it's like when Abba and Preach show these modern girls that want a man that makes 100K to 1 mil a year. They have no real expectations of romance. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like Just Pearly Things. I like her a lot. I love watching her stuff. She's good. That's why I blind followed you, because I trust you. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. You've been around a long time. I don't think you would still be here if you didn't care about what I said. So I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I prefer Think Before You Sleep. He admits he isn't perfect, but is working to be as honest as possible. That's where I am, Silvar. That's where I am, man. You know, I disagree with some of these big guys on certain things, but at the end of the day, I can only be true to myself. Like, I believe that certain things are important. We need to uphold certain values in order to really move on with society. I think there's certain things we need to accept. You know, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of human beings out there, some which are, you know, that have it a little worse than others, some that I just can't quite wrap my head around. And there's, you know, I'll tell you, man, there's a lot of, you know, the mental illness part of things is a really hard thing to approach, because there's a lot of people out there who have really good mental health who can't identify with some of these deeply depressed people. And it's hard to, but we can't dehumanize them to a point where they feel they need to take extreme measures. You know, that's one of the really important things to remember, and that's hard. You know, especially today when everything is so negatively driven. It's like all black pill, red pill. Like that's what everything's about. There's not enough white pills out there. And even like Garrett says, like, not enough clown pills. You know, to some extent, you need to laugh when you see some of this stuff. And remember, you're not going to change everyone's mind. You're not going to. There's just certain people you're not going to get through. Dirt Mater says, you can't cuddle with Instagram. You can't kiss it, hug it, or have long, late night discussions where you pour your hearts out over each other. It's a cheap, legal high that they're addicted to. Absolutely, man. 100%. 100%. Silver says, I see that. That's why I'm following you, Sheep, Horror, Gothics, and Ripa and Starsand. Yeah, well, you know, we're trying, man. It's one of those things where, like, I'm here because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy taking the time to talk about things that I think are important. You know, I think are really important for people to know or to consider. You know, if you're a 20-something, 30-something raising a family or about to raise a family, you should consider some of this stuff. I think I'm saying, because I think it's an interesting perspective for someone who who grew up in a relatively conservative environment, drank the Kool-Aid for many years regarding progressive ideals, and then like had a huge wake-up call around 2020. It's important to take a few steps back and realize like, whoa, the biggest trick being pulled is that you're a victim, that there's a bunch of victims in the world, and it's wrong. It's wrong. I'm a victim of some things. You're a victim of some things. But I'll tell you, in this country, in the United States, if you're in the United States right now, you have a lot of opportunities that people around the world do not have. I watched a debate today. God, it was between who was it? I don't even know who it was. Well, it was Jordan Peterson and another guy. He was on with Ben Shapiro on Bill Maher's show, and he was just making fun of Ben Shapiro's black guy. And I felt so bad for Jordan Peterson because he's trying to like have an actual debate, and this guy's just hurling fucking ad hominem at him. And it was brutal to watch because Peterson only like really spoke to like respond. He like heard what he said, responded, and then was done. This guy just wanted to hear himself talk. Russell Brand's a great one. I love Russell Brand now. He's I don't even know how to describe him anymore. Like I feel like for a while he was trying to toe the line of both sides, and maybe he still does, but he seems way more red-pilled now than he ever has been. But he's gotten there through his own like really hard work, like a more eccentric sort of like Tim Pool character, which is, it's great when people do that, when they take the time to sort of work through this shit by themselves, He certainly seems like a guy who's done his homework. Russell Brand, that is. Yeah. Y'all are hella cool. I appreciate y'all. 9 over on Rumble. Thank you guys for joining me over on Rumble. I really appreciate it. If you feel like it, smash that plussy. Get us up there. This is our weekly, or actually kind of daily show, the Daily Shag. If you guys are here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to Rumble and YouTube. What up, Sumo? Yeah, sexy beard. Yeah, it's, people just need to take more time with things. Like, I think that's the big problem. If I'm going to pontificate a little more, I think the problem is that we are led to believe that we need to know everything and know everything right now. Like, and in someone like, even like my case, like I think I should know things relatively quickly, but there's only so much I can really pour into a singular topic. Like I don't do this for work. Maybe one day I can pour a lot of time into reading things and reading up on people. But right now I have a limited window of things that I can, do. So people, like the majority of you, don't have the time to look at all this stuff. You can look at the stuff that you're passionate about and that you find important. I think we should stick to that. But being well versed in everything is a very new concept because our information is available like that. Sumo says, I've learned how to argue better on Twitter, but occasionally I get a little pissed and say something that gets me banned. Yeah. Star says the world moves too fast and we react too quickly. It's very true. It's very, very true. Green-haired anti-liberal says, internet did that to us, really. Info at our fingertips, so you have to have it all now. Yeah. And we're, with so many people covering stuff, it makes you think like, oh, they know it. Why don't I know it? Oh, crap. How many times are stories released with piss poor facts? Right. Because it's not about being right. It's just about being first. Denzel had said that in an interview. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're right. It just matters if you're first. And usually the people who are first, they usually get it wrong, but their retractions never make it, and that's a huge issue. It's not about being right anymore. It's just about being first. And people in our commentary sphere are guilty of it as well. And that's, it happens. It happens. It takes time to learn if a micro could handle a 2,000-degree knife. Yeah, I guess so. And then it gets buried when the facts come out, but the damage was done. It's true. I just hope 40K doesn't go woke. I feel like it comes for everyone eventually, man. It comes for everyone eventually. It's too bad. Oh, that was tonight. Oh, what the hell? Whew. I see Lofty on Twitter says the people who think Ye walkout was staged are the same people who thought Will Smith's slap was staged. Yeah. No, Ye walked out and that was not staged. I don't know. Looking at that clip again makes me think, yeah, if I had said that, I probably would have walked out too to save some face. Yeah, Fable did, Derp. Covington was one of the first examples at Reese. Yeah, the Covington students, what's his name? Nick Sandman. Yeah, that was a huge fuck up on the media's part. And they still don't learn. They didn't learn. And I'm surprised Rittenhouse let it go. Unless his lawyer said, don't even bother, you don't have a case. But, they slandered Rittenhouse up and down for a solid year. Sandman won, easily. Great catching up with you. Got to go. Getting late and have to work in the morning. Shiro, great to see you, man. Thank you for the love, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Nick Sandman's case is, it should have been setting the precedent, but it hasn't. The media still slanders people, libels them, and they don't care. But hopefully Sandman takes that money and triples it. Oh, did he start him? I mean, that's great if he did. I heard that was just a rumor, but I hope he does. Honestly, I really hope he does because they did some shitty things to him. And if the companies aren't shitting their pants, they should. Unless they threatened the great shot and hero Kyle Rittenhouse if he sued the voice of the government. I think he got Salmon's lawyers too, but could be a rumor. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I heard that, and then he came out and said that wasn't true. But again, I think it would be stupid not to bring something against them because they're labeling him as a white supremacist and everything. And, lawsuits do take time. Yeah. I'll bet Ben Shapiro would be upset if Rittenhouse won because it hurts his bosses. Why would Rittenhouse why would that hurt his bosses? Because they didn't slander him. They didn't slander him at all. They were in his corner from day one. Yeah. I'm really sad because Dragonflight released today for WoW, and I haven't really been able to get on to play. And I'll probably just go right to bed after this because I am still sick. I need my sleep. So y'all got me all week long. I don't really get to play Dragonflight. Feel me? I thought Ben was the co-boss. He is. Shapiro's a neocon shill. You think he's a neocon? I don't know, man. I don't particularly care for Ben, but like him, like a lot of the other people, like him, like the fresh and fit guys, he says some things that make sense. I wouldn't hang my hat on everything he says. I could tell Sumo. I could tell he supports the Rhinos. I don't think really. You're playing it right now. Yeah, well, some of us have shit to do. Like provide quality content for the masses, right? Right, everyone? Thank you. Guys, stop. I love you. Shapiro's looking out for one guy, Shapiro. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. The Daily Wire would create movies, but they refuse to actually invest in the counterculture. Well, here's the thing, and this is what I'll say in response to that. We need to make movies for the counterculture without saying that they're movies for the counterculture. You know what I mean? Like Ripa did not market his stuff that it was anti-woke, right? He just made a comic book that was supposed to be like conventional storytelling that didn't beat you over the head with diversity and all that. That's what we need. We need people to just make content that doesn't swing either way. That's just, hey, this is, you know, like, so a good example of someone like that, like Tarantino. Tarantino doesn't give a fuck about his movies. He's never cared. There's actually an interesting thread from what's her name? Sophia? God, I can't. Sophia Narwitz. So they were saying like, oh, Tarantino's a misogynist, blah, blah, blah. Tarantino's made like 3 movies in recent history where women were the central character and they were the heroines, but he didn't do a whole marketing campaign about how women are super uber powerful. So, but he makes movies that empower people and empower like minorities without like hitting you over the head with a sledgehammer saying, hey, look, diversity. Oh, powerful black man. Ooh, powerful woman. Like he doesn't do that. He just writes a good story. He writes a fun narrative, usually a crazy narrative. Oh, and Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown's one of the best movies he's ever made. It's probably one of the best movies of all time. Like strong, independent black woman. There you go. And hot. Woo! If y'all haven't seen Jackie Brown, you are missing out on one of the best movies ever. The woke labeled Eric anti-woke. Yeah, they did. But his stuff, he's never marketed as that. Now, to be fair, the woke haven't labeled their stuff woke. But the point is that you don't need to make gender, sex, sexual orientation like central to the story, right? You're seeing that in what? Rings of Power. You're seeing that in every fucking Disney movie that comes out nowadays. Like Marvel, like you don't need to do that. So what we need is not like counterculture people. What we need are those people who are not talking about that stuff. They're just saying, hey, here's a story. And you wouldn't know it, right? You wouldn't know it until you sat down like, holy shit, this movie's fucking good. Yeah, and Samuel J. came out and praised him for always giving him a strong, intelligent character. There's no way he's racist. Yeah. Everyone knows that. Anyone with half of a fucking brain cell to rub against the side of their skull knows that Tarantino is ahead of his time as far as diversity casting goes. The guy always gave people who, especially were on like the downside of their career, like re-up their career. Because the guy knows how to tell a story, knows how to make a movie, and doesn't market the shit out of it with fucking, ooh, this is bleh. Yeah, Sam Jackson has his own issues, but like that's the kind of guy, like Tarantino is the kind of guy that you need to make movies that aren't going to like cater, oh, well, this is uber powerful because there's these 2 awesome women in it. No, no one cares. Just make a movie. Just make a movie and make it good. Right? No one cares about the like, I don't even want to say it because I'm so sick of talking about this shit. Disney just shot themselves in the foot to the tune of like $120 million. And they'll chalk it up to people like me who don't like that shit. Oh, these haters are saying the blah. Like, no, it just sucked. People went to see it or they didn't know it was even coming out, didn't care to see it, and they didn't go. You spent a bunch of money pushing a narrative that no one cares about. You couldn't just write a good movie? That's all I got. What do you think? Well, I love you guys. But that's going to do it for my time here on YouTube and Rumble. I was going to go over to Rumble for a little bit, but my voice is like, it's about to cut out. It hurts. And I do need to get to bed a little early tonight. A lot more people are waking up to their shenanigans, though. Better late than never. Yeah, man. You know, this stuff takes time. It took time to get where we are. It'll take time to back out of it. You know, you just got to have patience. The people who will win the culture war are the one who are more patient than the next. And I'll tell you, like from what I see, like moderates and the classic liberal conservative, like that are just like left of center and right of center, are the people who will win this. The progressives won't win this. They're too knee jerk. They're too reactionary. Again, people on the far right, the same way. So we got to be careful. What's up with the guy who uses gamer words or the multi-billion-dollar companies that use you for advertising and don't stand with you in other countries? Yeah, no, I agree, Sumo. I agree. Hey, Kenzo, what's up, man? The normies need to win, not the extreme sides. No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, man. Like the people in the middle, just left of center, just right of center, and like the people who are just like politically homeless, those are the people who are just living their life and are going to see through the bullshit real quick. The faster that the left pushes their progressive policies, the less people are really going to care. It doesn't fucking matter to them. You're already seeing it with Disney movies. Disney's losing money hand over fist. Hand over fist. Kenzo, you're a little late. I know it's early in the morning for you. Thank you so much. I look forward to stuff that you have coming out. Kenzo's a great artist, by the way. Follow Kenzo where you can, because he's awesome. He's got awesome art. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll be talking about something in the news, and I'm sure it'll be great. The Daily Shag number 3 is coming up tomorrow. Make sure you guys follow on all the platforms. We're live on Rumble right now. If you're over there and you haven't hit that plussy yet, hit it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. The Locals link is down below. Follow on Locals. We do member streams. Well, not member streams. We do a weekly catch-up every Monday that's open to everyone. And I have members-only content starting next week. So get in while you can. Most of the stuff will be free, but of course we'll have something for those who have paid to be a part of the community. We really appreciate it. So I thank you guys. Love you. If any mods were in the chats I didn't even see, thank you to all the mods. Thank you for all of you. Without you guys here, this show is nothing. I appreciate you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you to all of our subscribers. Right now, Codenomics and EmperorDoomsDay, thank you guys so much for your patronage over on Locals. Superman, if he wasn't afraid of green rocks, bro, I'm heading out to bed. I want to drop by and support the show. Midweek Hump is going to be lit this week. I agree. No, you're good. You're good. No green rocks. I'm headed to bed anyway. Thank you guys. Green-haired anti-liberal, thank you so much for hanging out. It was a great show. Thank you everyone over on Rumble who hung out. I appreciate you. We are out for tonight. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 9 p.m., 9:15 Mountain Time.
I like to put stuff online.